Welcome to FUNNYMATH page. In this lesson, I'll discuss with you how to factorize quadratic trinomials. This is the general form for quadratic trinomials. So that's ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are not equal to 0. They are integers, but they shouldn't be equal to 0. So whenever you meet something like this, you're talking about quadratic trinomials. So in this case, I'll be discussing how to factorize quadratic trinomials where the a, the first expression here is 1. It's 1. It's not any other number but 1. So you're going to get, x squared plus bx plus c. So that's the expression or quadratic trinomial that we're going to factorize. In our next video, you'll talk about expressions where the coefficient of x squared is more than 1 or not 1. Let me say it that way. So let's begin. We have this expression. How do we, factorize x squared plus 5x plus 6? Comparing this expression to the general form, we can see that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5, and then c is equal to 6. How do we factorize? We can't use the common factors approach because we don't have any common factor in the 3 terms here. You can check for yourself. We don't have any common factor. So we can't use the common factors approach. We can't also use the method of grouping. We usually use the method of grouping when there are 4 terms, so we can't use that method here. So there should be a different way to factorize this particular expression, and that is what we're going to do right now. So how do we do that? First of all, we multiply our c by a. So in this case, our a is 1, our c is 6. So you multiply them. So when you multiply 6 by 1, you're going to get 6. So we're going to find the factors of 6 in pairs. And now we look for the best pair that when we add or subtract, we will get the coefficient of x, that is b. So first of all, let's see the factors of 6 in pairs. So we can think of 1 by 6. We can also think of 2 by 3. We can think of -1 by -6. -1 times -6 will give us 6. We can also think of -2 times -3. That will give us 6. So these are possible factors of 6 in pairs. So which one of them, can be manipulated to get, 5, can be added or subtracted to get, 5. So we can use 2 and 3. I can use 2 and 3 to, do that. So straightforward, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace 5x with these two numbers, 2 and 3. So their form is going to change. So this 2 is going to be 2x, and that of 3 is going to be 3x to replace the 5x. So this is how it's going to be. So we're going to get x squared plus 2x plus 3x and then plus 6. So now replace our 5x by 2x plus 3x. So this is what we have. At this moment, we have 4 terms. So we can use the method of grouping to factorize. So you're going to get something like this: x squared plus 2x in one bracket plus 3x plus 6 in another bracket. So at this point, I'll just factorize each bracket. So in the first bracket, we have x squared plus 2x, which obviously our common factor is going to be x, right? So x out, and x goes into x squared x times. X goes into 2x2. When you multiply, you're going to get the same expression back. The next thing, or the next bracket, is going to be 3x plus 6, which obviously our common factor is going to be 3. And 3 goes into 3x, x times, and 3 goes into 6 2 times. So we're on the right path because the guys in the bracket are the same, x plus 2, x plus 2. So we just take the coefficient, that is x plus 3. I'm talking about this and that. Then we come and take, you know, the guys in the brackets, just one of them. So x plus 2. When we are done, that's the final answer. So we have been able to factorize the expression x squared plus 5x plus 6. So that's our final expression. Let's move on to the next one. So this is our next expression. That's going to be x squared minus 5x plus 6, very similar to our previous one. And how do we, factorize this one? So like I said in the previous one, we just multiply. So let me just label my constants. A is equal to 1, b is equal to -5, c is equal to 6. That is when you compare to the general equation. Remember, the general equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. So that's the general equation. Take notice of that. So the next thing is to multiply, c by a, and that's going to give us 6 once again. So the factors of 6, like we did, we're going to get 1 and 6, 2 and 3. You can also get, -1. -6. You can also get -2 and that of -3. So these are the factors of 6 in pairs. So which one are we going to use? We have 1 and 6. Go through the steps here. And obviously, I think we are going to use, -2, -3. Because -2 minus 3 is going to give us, -5. So that means I'm going to add these two guys. So -2 plus -3 will give me -5. So I can use these two, pairs, or these two numbers to replace -5x. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's move on. So you're going to get x squared. So instead of writing -5x, it's going to be -2x plus -3x. So just going to be, plus, let me show you this one. Plus -3 is just the same as -3. So I'm just going to write -3x, plus 6. So this is what we have. So at this moment, we have 4 terms. So we can use the method of grouping approach here. So I'm going to group the first two terms, that is x squared minus 2x, and I'll group the next two. So minus into bracket 3x. Remember, this sign is going to affect this one, this sign here, because I've introduced the bracket. So here is going to be -6. If you watch our previous video, you understand, this one better. So you can watch that video, how to factorize by the common factors approach and that of, the method of grouping. When you watch, you understand this one better. So now let's move on. We have x squared minus 2x. We have to factor, our common factor. We have to find our common factor. So our common factor is going to be x. And then x goes into x squared x times. Minus x goes into 2x 2 times. So we are done with our first bracket. Let's come to our second one. We have this minus sign here. So we have to write it there. Oh, I have to bring my common factor. So let's look for our common factor. 3x minus 6. And that's going to be 3, right? So 3 goes into 3x, x times, and 3 goes into 6 too. But don't forget that we have minus sign here. So we have this. And now the terms in the brackets are the same. Remember that whenever we get something like that, it means you are on the right path. So our final answer is going to be, we just take the coefficient, that is x, and that of -3 in one bracket. We just put them in one bracket. So we have x minus 3 in one bracket. And then we take these guys, one of them, x minus 2. And we are done. So that is how you are supposed to factorize. So that's the final, answer. Let's take more examples. We have m squared minus m minus 6. How do we, factorize this expression? You can pause the video and work it. Okay, so let's do it. So in this case, A is going to be 1, B is going to be -1, C is going to be -6. I hope you're not confused here because the coefficient of this, remember the general equation is AX squared plus BX, plus C. So A is 1. B is going to be -1 because we have this one that we don't write. So that is why we have this one. And C is going to be -6. So now let's look for the factors of, we have to multiply -6 by A, and that's going to give us -6. So let's look for the factors of -6. So we can get -1, 6, that will give us -6. We can also get 2, -3. We can also get -2, 3, and that of, 1, -6. So when you multiply all this, you're going to get -6. So I can take 2, -3. Yeah, I can use these two because when I, add, I'm going to get -1 because I want to get B, which is -1. So when I add 2 plus -3, that will give me -1. So that means I can use these two guys. So straightforward, I'm going to replace, -1 by 2 plus -3. Remember to attach m to it. So you're going to get m squared plus 2m minus 3m minus 6. So at this moment, we have 4 terms. So you have to use the method of grouping. So I'm going to get m squared plus 2m in one bracket minus into bracket 3m. Since I've introduced the bracket, this negative sign is going to affect this one. So you're going to get plus, 6. So we factorize each bracket. M squared plus 2m. That's going to be m, right? The common factor is m. So we have m here and 2. I hope you got it. That's not confusing. Now we come to the next bracket. Minus 3m plus 6. So common factor is going to be 3, right? So 3 goes into 3m, m times, plus 3 goes into 6, 2 times. That's correct because the terms in the bracket are the same. So let's write our final expression. And that's going to be n minus 3. That is, we take these guys, and then we take the guys in the brackets, the terms in the brackets, one of them. So we have m plus 2. So that's how we can factorize this one. Let's work on more examples here. Let's take this expression. X squared minus 3x plus 2. So we can pause the video and factorize this expression. Okay, so let's factorize. So in this case, A is equal to 1, B is equal to -3, and then C is equal to 2. So as usual, I'm going to multiply C by A, and when you multiply C by A, that will give me 2. So let's look for the factors of 2 in pairs. So 1, 2 will give me 2. -1, -2 can also give me 2. Let's look for the suitable pair. Then when we add or subtract, we can get, -3. So which one am I going to use here? We can use -1, -2 because -1 plus -2 will give me -3. So I'm going to use that one. So I just replace -3x with these two, numbers. So let's go. I'm going to get x squared. So we're going to get -x. Remember, -x is the same as -1x. Minus 2x plus 2. We have 4 terms now. We group them. So let's go the first term, the first 2 terms. So we have x squared minus x minus, let's group the next one. So we have 2x minus 2. I hope you get it. The sign, the negative sign is affecting this one. Okay, so let's continue from here. We factorize each bracket. So x squared minus x, our common factor is going to be x. So x goes into x squared x times, and x goes into x1 minus 2x minus 2. The common factor is going to be 2. So 2 goes into 2x x times, and 2 goes into 2, 1. The factors or the terms in the bracket are the same. So let's write our final expression. So we take the terms outside. We have x minus 2, and then we take one of these terms in the bracket. So that's the final expression, the final answer. Let's take one more expression. We have a squared plus 7a plus 12. Feel free to pause the video and simplify or factorize this expression. So in this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 7, and c is equal to 12. So we just multiply c by a, and c by a is going to give me 12. So let's look for the factors of 12. So we have 3 and 4. We have 2, 6. We're going to get many, factors. -3 by -4, -2 by -6. 1 and 12, -1, -12. So I'm just writing more, but, we can use the first two, numbers here. We want to get 7. And 3 plus 7, 3 plus 4 will give me 7. So there's no need for me to even write all these guys. But then let's move on. So I'm going to replace 7a with 3a and that of 4a. So this is what I'm going to get. So we have a squared plus 3a plus 4a, plus 12. Now that we have 4 terms, we just group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms separately. So I'm going to get a squared plus 3a plus 4a plus 12. So we factorize each bracket. So the common factor is going to be a, and a goes into a squared a goes into 3a, 3, plus 4a and that of 12. The common factor is going to be 4, right? So 4 goes into 4a, 4a, 8 times. And 4 goes into 12, 3 times. So the terms are the same in the bracket. So we just write our final expression. A plus 4 in one bracket times a plus 3. So that will be all for today's lesson. I hope you've understood the concept. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.